Hey everybody, it's X, and welcome back to another early access premiere draft of the brand new Duskmourn format. So thanks again to Wizards of the Coast for providing me with this early access account. And without further ado, let's pack one, pick one, our incredible rare. We actually have two rares here, but this Peer Past the Veil is just kind of a narrow little draw spell. Interesting card, but not quite as good as the Unholy Annex and Ritual Chamber. So this is one of the new room cards, which is pretty sweet. These are split enchantments like we had split spells before, so we can cast either half of this enchantment to get that effect, and then later in the game, we can cast the mana cost of the other half to unlock that effect as well. So turn 3, we could just play the Unholy Annex and start drawing an extra card each turn while losing 2 life, and then turn 5, we unlock the Ritual Chamber, get the 6/6 demon on board, and start draining our opponent for life as we're drawing those cards. Really powerful, really flexible room, and it is easily the pack one, pick one. Just an incredibly, tremendously powerful mono-colored card. Pack one, pick number 2. Live or Die is really fun. 5 mana, instant speed, return a creature from your graveyard to the battlefield or destroy target creature. Obviously, it's much less efficient than Murder, but it gives you a much more flexible spell, a much bigger option potentially, where your opponent could be attacking in with like a 4/4, or maybe like more realistically a 2/2 or a 3/3, and then you can like reanimate a 5/4 and block with it. So you can kind of get both halves of this card if you reanimate something at the right time. You get to eat one of their attacking creatures. Card seems really potentially powerful for the Reanimator decks, and there's a lot of cards that you can use towards reanimating big stuff. So Live or Die seems kind of sweet. I kind of want to go for that over Murder. Another really powerful card is the Jolly Balloon Man, but that artwork is nightmare fuel, and I don't want to go anywhere near it. But also, more importantly, we're starting with a double black card, so trying to play a red-white spell and a double black card in the same deck, we need to take a lot of fixing pretty highly, so I'm probably just not going to toy around with that. We're just going to stick to black for now with Live or Die. Pick number 3. Now the black cards are significantly weaker. There's a Killer's Mask, which shows off the Manifest Dread ability, letting us flip one of the top 2 cards of our library onto the board as a face-down 2/2, and mill the other card. Pretty cute. You can flip up the card later if it's a creature, but not the greatest for 3 mana, single 2/2, and then a mediocre equipment to move around. Rather move into another color like green for this House Cartographer. Really good if it manages to stick around on board with that survival mechanic. If it sticks on board and it's tapped during your second main phase, then you can draw another land from your deck. So if that keeps going, that's a huge card draw engine. Fear of Immobility has been very impressive to me. 5 mana 4/4, tap and stun an opposing creature when you play it. You can also tap your own creature if you happen to have like a good survival card or something. So it has that flexibility, but really the tap and stun an opposing card has been pretty good. But I'm thinking I'm going Cartographer here. Also like reasonable red removal spell options in the pack too. Pick number 4. Diversion Specialist, 4 mana, 4/3 Menace. Sack a creature enchantment, you can play a top card of your library. Alright, cool for like a Rakdos sack deck. Grab the prize, discard a card, draw 2. Miasma Demon seems like solid top end for any black deck. We'd also speculate towards going blue-black. We haven't played that deck yet. That's going to be a kind of controlling, very enchantment-heavy deck. So you want to play a lot of enchantments and rooms and stuff to trigger the Eerie mechanic. So this Fear of Infinity gets to sit there and just keep draining life from your opponent, and anytime they kill it, if you play another enchantment or you like pay the mana for a room ability on one of your rooms, you can just pick it right back up from your grave. So I kind of like that idea. We haven't played that deck yet. Maybe move to blue-black this time around. Pick number 5, Murder and Live or Die. Again, it's the exact same option. I'm just going to go with another Live or Die. Not the most efficient removal ever, but now we have 2 instant speed reanimation effects, so if we find good ways to self-mill, we can draft a lot of really high mana value creatures and put some gigantic stuff on the board really cheap. At instant speed as well to like surprise a blocker, or surprise an attacker with a new blocker is pretty sweet. Alright, pick 6. Try to be a dedicated Reanimator deck, taking this Possessed Goat, going to white-black, where this can discard cards to become a 4/4. And if we do that, then we're obviously discarding a big creature for our live or die. That's an option. Commune with Evil is another option. It's going to put 3 of the top 4 cards into our graveyard. Just going to fill our grave for Delirium, and more importantly for us right now, fill our grave for our live or die. Maybe hit a reanimation target. Take this Commune with Evil. Duskmourn's Domination's also fine. It's a lot of mana, but technically you're basically removal spelling your opponent's best creature and getting a really poopy version of it. Okay, pick 7. Take a blue-black duel. 5 mana, 2/7. That is a lot of mana. It doesn't do anything unless it deals combat damage to your opponent. I think there's enough removal that can kill like a 2/7 in this format. This card's just not that exciting. Rather take another room or the blue-black duel. I'm just going to grab the duel. There is one little stupid fruit fly or gnat thing flying around. I hate it so much. You're just like clean every inch of the whole apartment, but there's just one flying bug of some kind that you can never get rid of them. It's just always coming for you. Pick number 8, Twist Reality. It's going to be a pretty controlling deck, so that seems fine. Alternatively, Manifest Dread could be good in green-black. Put one of our top 2 cards on the board as a 2/2 and the other one into our grave. And if we're in green-black, green can give us the really high mana value, just gigantic creatures to pick up with live or die. Yeah, I guess I'll actually take Manifest Dread. And maybe we could even be Sultai. If we take enough dual lands, we can play all 3 of these colors, so maybe even just take the Strangled Cemetery here. Tap a creature, 2 stun counters on it, and a draw 3, discard a card. Seems pretty decent. Draw 3, discard a card could also ditch a high mana value creature for later. You know what? Let's try doing some 3-color stuff. Let's mix some archetypes together. Blue-black and green-black together should be a lot of self-millie stuff. That should give us plenty of big cards to maybe reanimate later in the game. Could be good. Alright, here's a big green creature. Not that big for Reanimator purposes, but certainly not small. Alright, pack 2, pick 1. You have Oblivious Bookworm. This is really good if you do a lot of face-down nonsense. So when you're manifesting cards and flipping them up, you get to fully draw cards, and even when you're not, you are drawing a card and discarding a card over and over. We are deeper into black than any other color, though, so green-blue specifically is kind of a hard 2-color pair. Since I am deeper into black than anything else, I can take the Stick Twister here, just a 2-mana 2/2 lifelink that has upside if we ever hit Delirium. Pretty good. Also, Enduring Vitality. If we go deeper into green, this can be the fixing we need to splash in that little bit of blue if we're like green-black at the core. Lots of options here for sure. I'll go for the Enduring Vitality. Green-black at the core. Happy to be in green-black at the core because we get past an absurd green mythic. 3 mana 3/3 that spits out a 2/2 every time it attacks is already busted, and this is that but better because the 2/2 you're spitting out might even be a bigger creature that you can flip up for only 2 mana. Hauntwood Shrieker is super dumb. So we'll take that. Definitely looking for more removal right now, it looks like. I guess double live or die are 2 removal spells. So these are all of our creatures. And this is our non-creature spells here. Or these are non-creature spells here. We're still only 1 card deep into blue. We might just be a Golgari deck. Be interesting to see. We've got some high power here. Hauntwood Shrieker and Unholy Annex being ridiculous cards. Enduring Vitality still being pretty good. So now we have Branch Snapper. Looks kind of awesome for a deck with 2 copies of Live or Die, because we can cycle this to pick up a land, and then we've got our instant speed 7/6 trample later. That is set up to try to get a blowout on an attacking creature. But if we take a lot of these Manifest Dread cards, the threats around every corner can be a lot of mana fixing and mana ramp at the same time. Currently just the Enduring Vitality, or not the Enduring Vitality, the Hauntwood Shrieker, the Manifest Dread, the Beastie. I'm actually just going to go Branch Snapper. And with 2 copies of Live or Die, I'm going to go really deep on that card if I can. Okay, speaking of going really deep on cards, let's go really deep on Reanimator. No blue splash anymore. What if we go white splash for Rite of the Moth? Because it only costs 1 white mana to cast it up front. The flashback does need double white, but the first cast is 4 mana, pick up a creature from grave, and it only needs a single white. Let's go full on 3-color Reanimator here. Let's do some spicy brews here. Grab another Branch Snapper. That looks good for this deck. Over a Swamp Cycler. Yeah, green's going to be the core color to give us all the mana fixing we need to get to the other colors. So grab the Forest Cyclers primarily and reanimate those. They're also the biggest ones, right? 7/6 trample. And Commune with Evil also looks like a good way to dump those big creatures in our graveyard. So that seems reasonable. Oh, I don't like that this is a sorcery. I think I misread it as an instant, though. Sorcery speed is kind of a big downside for this card. No white fixing here. A little bit awkward. Just grab the 4/4. Maybe the found footage is okay. I'll just grab the 4/4. Okay, it's a 5-drop. Alright, Moldering Gym Weight Room looks beautiful. That will fix us into the white mana. And it's just like a ramps into itself, right? You ramp up with the 3 mana part to cast the 6 mana part, get your 5/5. I like the Moldering Gym, but especially if we're going to be splashing in a 3rd color, it actually looks pretty good. And Keys to the Home can also help splash us. Just 1 to play it, 1 to sack it and grab a Plains. Beautiful. Grab whatever land we need. Pick 10. Derelict Attic or Horrid Vigor. This is more of a Derelict Attic deck. A little bit of card draw. Although I've got the double Commune with Evil covering the same base there. Okay, we might end up just cutting either one we took. The enchantment count? 4? It's probably not a Bloodsucker deck then, so we'll take a Cultist. Might be able to get to Delirium. We have some random artifacts, sorceries, and instants in this deck. Obviously, lands can end up in the grave pretty easily. Yeah, take the Cultists. Instant speed, 3 mana Manifest Dread. Probably not very good, but there's lots of artifacts and enchantments to blow up with that. Pack 3, pick 1. We have 2 Live or Die, a Bear Trap for removal. Let's grab more removal. Withering Torment it is. 3 mana instant, destroy a creature or enchantment. You do lose 2 life to cast it, but it is very efficient removal. So join the party. Let's have some interaction in this deck. Pack 3, pick 2. I honestly could use more cyclers like the Branch Snapper here, or the Spectral Snatcher. So we're gonna get another big trampling cycler. This is 17 lands now. So yeah, 23 non-lands and a Strangled Cemetery. What do our first cuts look like? Honestly, probably the cultists. Bear trap, the communes. This derelict attic. So these are our flex spaces we can swap out for better stuff if we find it. Innocuous rat is probably better. We don't have a lot of early blockers right now. We could certainly use more. One more cards leave your graveyard, get a 2/2. Can pick one up. How many cards are leaving our graveyard that often? It's really just the reanimation spells. I don't think I'm going all in on this defiled crypt. I think I'm going innocuous rat. More early blocks. There are some good aggro decks in this format, like Boros, that I would like to be able to block against. Another Rite of the Moth? Sure. Can we get more fixing? No. Get a plane cycler. Random plane cycler to the pile. Just self-mill with the Patchwork Beastie. 4 instants, sorceries, and enchantments, and 11 creatures. There's obviously a bunch of lands in the deck, too. Delirium does not seem impossible, but our artifact count's kind of low for it. I'm gonna go for the Beastie. Pick 6. Looks like a bunch of butts. Yeah. None of this looks very interesting. I'll just grab another Beastie. Okay, we're not a good living phone deck, but everything else is off color. Alright, the mana is going to be a little bit awkward for this deck, but it's going to be a pretty fun one. Got some nonsense available. Bunch of land cyclers to reanimate. Okay, there we go. There's another land cycler to reanimate. 26 cards, 1 land. That's 25 non-lands. I still need to cut 2 more. Cut the attic. Let's cut both the cultists. Just run a commune here. I probably should run one of these malevolent chandeliers just so I don't accidentally mill myself if the game goes really long. Just one random chandelier. Probably enough because I have so many ways to reanimate it. I could just flash back a Rite of the Moth if I've milled a chandelier. So flash this back, pick up the malevolent chandelier to not mill out is a plan. And there we go. Just cut one more card, although we can cut a land for keys to the house, so we'll say we just did that. We are running 4 land cyclers as well, which helps theoretically feel like we've upped the land count. So with 4 land cyclers and a keys to the house, I think we're super free to go for a 16 land deck here. We definitely want to be on triple planes at least, because we want to be able to get 2 of them onto the board for this Rite of the Moth. So if 2 white sources end up milled, we are out of luck there. So I actually kind of want to go 4 white sources, which is awkward. I have to cut a black source that way. 8 green, 6 black. It's really hard to fit the 4th white source in here. Don't have anything in the deck that can pick up a plains if it gets milled. It's a little sketchy. I guess I just really need to prioritize the planes on the keys. I gotta just go down to 3 planes. I don't think I can justify a 4th, because we need our core colors so badly. 8-6 splits feels good. Yep, green is just tremendously astronomically important, so we'll go 8-6-3. Call it a deck here. Here's our nice little 3-color Reanimator pile. Very excited to see how this one plays out. Right, here we are on the play. Oh my god. On the play for game one with a curve into our mythic rare Hauntwood Shrieker, and we're against IGN, the Internet Gaming Network. Silence, Brand. I'm coming for you. Alright. They can't kill Hauntwood Shrieker, the game's just over. Instantly. So let's see. Here it is. Full Jund from IGN. Green, black, and red. 4 damage removal. Well, we got like a million ways to reanimate in this deck. One card type from Delirium here, and Sorcery would be the card type I need. If I play Manifest Dread, I can send in with Beastie right now. I can also Moldering Gem to ramp, or Enduring Vitality to ramp. Yeah, I can still attack with Beastie next turn, quite likely. It's an instant get me to Delirium. Yep. So if we need to blow something up, we can do that too. Whenever this attacks for the first time each turn, if there are 4 more card types among cards in their grave, untap a creature and there's another combat phase. Yeah, that's gonna get blown up. No, I milled the land. Well, I can still Withering Torment and attack with the team. Go! Actually, probably better to just attack with the Vigilant one and get my land. I'm gonna stop milling now that the Beastie's at Delirium, and we have plenty of reanimation targets. Spine, Seeker, Centipede. That's their own 3/3. That one picks up a land for them. Brood Spinner. They can sack that for 4 1/1 flyers. At least. Which is already terrifying. Okay. I can cast the Live or Die off of these creatures. Thanks to the Enduring Vitality. Actually, even if Enduring Vitality dies, it turns into an enchantment and lets me do that. The Beastie. Probably casting Live or Die here. Just reanimating a 7/6 Trampler or 3/3 Shrieker. Let's see about reanimating a 7/6 Trampler on blocks, shall we? That feels pretty good. Okay, if there's no attacks, then it's a little more awkward, but still strong. Stronger than a Shrieker? I think so, when they can double block and kill the Shrieker. Commune with Evil. Moldering Gem and Manifest Dread. Thanks to Patchwork Beastie. Oh, that's instant speed. Ooh, good grief. I guess they could lose their whole board to kill this. Yeah, that's pretty fine. Not bad. Fanatic of the Harrowing. To discard a card. Rude. Found footage. Okay, they're out of plays. All they can do is draw a card now. We're gonna have a bigger board for sure. They know this is a cartographer, but that's fine. Break down the door. Exile an artifact or enchantment. Or manifest dread. I'm just going to start going to Value Town with this thing, because I can keep tapping it for mana, and then it gets its survival triggers, which is gross. So let's just get Cartographer survival triggers going. Oh yes, it's the second planes, so any rights that I end up milling, I can flash back to. Or if I draw it, I can just cast it twice. I feel like things are pretty unlocked here, because now we have just so many incredible draws for a long game like this, when we've got mana for anything we draw into. Full graveyard to choose from. Tons of tramplers in there. Say its name, mill 3, pick up a creature or land. I want to see no Beetlejuice out of there. Miss me with that nonsense. Spine Seeker Centipede. Grab another land. And we're chilling, we're going big. Unlock this room. Oh. Get a 5/5 if nothing else. Send that in. Send that in. Full control mode. Tap for a blue for fun. Just for the survival ability. Cool. Already played land for turn. I'm a doofus. I didn't even realize how good this is with survival. That's super nasty. Final Vengeance. Exiler, 5/5. Ooh. G to the G. We get a 6/6 demon, draw an extra card every turn, and drain them for life. I guess unless I mill myself out, but I've got that chandelier in here, I'm pretty sure. I kept it in. Oops. Check my deck list. Alright, IGN concedes and we have silenced the brands. We start things off 1-0 heading into game 2. Alright, here we are for game 2. We're on the draw for this one, but we've got some bangers in the hand. The Enduring Vitality and the Unholy Annex and Ritual Chamber later. Playing against a green-white deck that starts with Marvin, Murderous Mimic. That's going to be a pretty powerful, pretty fun build around for like Brawl and stuff like that. Commander, constructed formats in general. I don't know how good it's actually going to be in Draft. I don't think there's a lot of like really good activated abilities. But a 2-mana 2/2 artifact creature can still help out with Delirium, if you need the 2 card types in your grave. I don't know, it'd be cool. It'd be, yeah, cool to see somebody just pop off with Marvin with a bunch of activated abilities on board in Draft, because that feels like it'd be pretty hard to do. Shoot, they hit me with the exile removal there. That's kind of tragic. I can commune here to put something in grave for the liver die to get a free kill next turn. That feels really worth it. Yep, let's put the removal spell in hand, and then so many options to reanimate. We can reanimate one at instant speed with liver die to kill something, and then we've got the Rite of the Moth for later. He's just firing on all cylinders here. Okay. I kind of want to torment this thing. So even if they have instant speed tricks, they aren't going to stop us from killing the rip here. Because I don't want to end up casting Liver Die, flashing something in, and then them just giving this like Death Touch indestructible or something. I think this is important enough to kill, to just kill it right now and not try to do it in a tricky way. That could get blown out. Kill it while they're tapped out. Still making weird sounds in my house. Well, apartment. Alright, well, it stopped. I'm gonna hope that's not a Duskmourn demon of some kind. Oh boy, well, I'm at 13, which is not good. Liver Die, block, kill something, go from there. And if they have the trick, it'll be sad, but at least we got the really important thing out of the way. Probably Marvin. Well, Marvin's got that delirium going for it. Let's get the 2/2 because it could be bigger. It is just a land. Fear of immobility. Stun the 7/6 and keep it stunned. Well, their Liver Die. Picking up a 4/4 this time. Not big enough to stop Fear of Immobility. That'd just be a trade there. Since it's just a trade anyway, I should just, like, Rite of the Moth, right? Save the Liver Die for an actual kill. Or I should just get the 6/6. I should probably just get the 6/6. It's my only creature I can play that doesn't just trade. If the demon is still around next turn, well, I guess that also relies on us still being alive. Okay, the demon's not around. We're at 1/2. Slightly too slow. Yeah, we have enough reanimation that if I had life gain here, we have enough creatures to technically clear out like their whole board and be ahead, but I don't have the life total to take all this damage. I don't have the time to cast all the reanimation. Yeah, tragic. We did some strong stuff, but they just jammed out way too many creatures. Too early. 1-1 it is, heading into game 3. Alright, here we are on the play with a mono-colored hand in our 3-color deck. That doesn't feel keepable. The cards are obviously powerful, but it's like 4 green sources, and we have the really important double black card. Yeah, that's just a mulligan. Alright, 1 mana of each color. Vitality's got the fixing as well. Yeah, we go for this. Oh man, yeah. Forgot I have to ditch a card. Mulliganing sucks. I hate it. Oh yeah, this is super awkward because you probably have to just force cycle and Vitality down here. Well, got an innocuous rat. Probably still just guarantee Vitality next turn though. Play the rat afterward. We're against Boros, that's a problem. One of the most aggressive archetypes in pretty much every format, so I don't expect this to be any different. Try to just blow us up before we do any reanimation shenanigans. I would hate to see it. As I would absolutely hate to see exile removal from our opponent here. Okay, no exile removal. Gonna our Vigilant attack in. We are flooding out a little bit. That's not good. But I've got Withering Torment up with a Vigilant attack here, which is nice. Acrobatic Cheerleader. Like to see you get through a 3-3 body. Oh, no. Well, this destroys enchantments. Whenever one or more non-toys attack, they get a 1/1 toy. They can have all of their creatures be power toughness equal to the number of creatures they control. If I Withering Torment that before they attack, I'm tapped out of blocking well. Yeah, it sucks. I think I have to let them get the one doll. Oh my god, that triggers before? I'm sorry, they get the doll and then they can tap the doll for the orphans? That's egregious. Well, that blows. You'd probably just die. This is insane. This curve out here with that mythic. Already a little flooded. Something. Seven 6 blocks the 2/1, 2/2 blocks the 1/1. I think we hold. That is a really creepy doll token. I guess it's a toy, not a doll. What are you? Whenever another creature enters, it gets +2/+0 haste till end of turn. Gross. Pretty strong. Okay, I don't have anything good to pick up with Ride of the Moth anymore. I guess we get the Patchwork Beastie just self-milling us up then. Or have it just trade off and then come back. That is an option too. Could get a rat, but if I get a rat back, it has a finality counter, so it gets exiled when it dies, so it's just literally a 1/1 that doesn't trigger when it dies anymore. So Ride of the Moth on the rat is really bad. That's so gross. 5 damage to a creature and the other one can't block. So I don't block this turn, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minimum. They play any creature, gets +2/+0 haste, and we're just dead. Well. Yeah, that's a phenomenally strong card for only 1 mana, too, to push through damage. Ridiculous. And that's lethal. Fantastic aggro deck from our opponent. We are 1-2. Set might be too aggressive for our dirtily reanimating nonsense. We're setting up potentially fun plays, but our opponents are just spewing creatures out. And we are 1-2 heading into game 4. Here we are for game 4 with a terrible opener. This is a forced mulligan by a lot. The mana is so bad for this hand, as this one. This is less of a forced mulligan because if I can just hit any land in the deck, we can get to the Enduring Vitality and hope that that can at least plop down the rat and some stuff and buy us the time we need to get more draw steps. And a mulligan to 5, almost always just like a death sentence. I'm going to bank on this Enduring Vitality here. We are on the draw, so we could technically like top deck a swamp immediately. Also, They try to mill us out. That might end up giving us some good value if we can close out the game fast enough. Blue-red from our opponent. And just the crab for now. Blue-red has a lot of the new rooms and a lot of cards that trigger for unlocking a lot of rooms. Statistically strange draws this game. So 4-3. Okay. I can exile the machete and then eat the 2/2 as a trick. Which is pretty nice. Unless it can flip up. But our break down the door can exile that artifact, turn that face down into just a 2/2, and then we block with a 3/3. Which is also why we attacked in. They were tapped out, so if they blocked, we could definitely just turn it into a 2/2 and eat it. It's more dangerous on blocks, because now they have the mana open to where if that is a creature, they can flip it up, or if they just have a combat trick in their hand, they can cast that. But Enduring Vitality will stick around here and let our other creatures tap for mana regardless. So I'm still going to go for it. Nice. It was just an island. Oh, Pyroclasm. Board wipe would be the only thing that really punishes me for that, because then even though Vitality's ability is around, our other creature isn't. So it had to be something that would kill both our creatures to really punish us. So that was pretty gross to have the Pyroclasm there. Alright, we did find land 5. Start getting some beasties down. And 1 mana bounce it back. It's not looking good. Nope, I milled one of our planes. There's a piggy bank. +2/+0 haste, slam for 5. I gotta leave this on board though, so that we have the mana to cast Livered Eye this next turn. Pick up the 6/5. Unlock this door. It deals damage equal to the number of cards in your hand to a creature an opponent controls, which is 4. Well, that's very good. Oh my god, the other half just draws cards too? It's a card draw spell? That's super good. It's only 2 mana? That is a sweet build around. Alright. Blue-red Rooms has got hands. Alright, I have to cast this now while I can still actually get the mana I need. Well, there goes another plains. Okay. Get our beastie back. Oh, I have to tap both of them for that? It's not ideal. Yeah, because I need a second black and a white. Guess I will not get the beastie back then. Not yet. Double block snatcher, not that bad. We'll send that in. Alright, cool. I guess now I have a better Reanimator target for Ride of the Moth. Because the Beastie will not get its death trigger when we reanimate it with a Ride of the Moth because it's got a finality counter. So, well, if we're not going to get a death trigger anyway, just get a ward card that's slightly bigger. Back in the box. 2/4 haste, they can give it +4/+0 till end of turn, but then they have to sack it. In which case I can just like chomp if they have to sack it anyway. Okay, if they're not going to force sack it, then I'll trade the Beastie. I guess I can flash back a Ride of the Moth, so we let that go to the grave. And then do that. Nice. I can start gaining life off this thing being tapped. Version specialist. Back their stuff to get cards. Oh, it's got menace too. That's kind of scary. Ooh. Wood Shrieker also kind of scary. Looks like a solid trade for me. Right, getting to that point where it looks like they really need to like board wipe us to get out of this one. So let's hope they don't. I have been double board wiped before in this format. They're just gonna pass turn with a million mana up and we'll just see what happens here. "12 cards left, they might mill me out. Lethal on board. Okay, Inferno, the 5/4. Okay, so 9 damage, put them to 2. It's pretty big. Let's just play a pretty big trampler, shall we? If they board wipe, we still have the Ride of the Moth to get the 7/6 trampler to kill them with. If we draw our demon making card, it's just gonna drain them for 2 life, and that's the end of the game. Get out. Return 1 or 2 creatures and or enchantments you own to your hand. So pick up the rooms to recast them, yeah. Roaring Furnace away another creature. Kill the Shrieker here. Kill the rat. Interesting. I guess because they want to mill us with the Manifest Dread ability? No, man. We milled the Lethal Room. 6 cards left. Bottomless Pool mills us 2 more cards. We go down to 4 cards in deck. Bounces the Trampler. Two more enchantments would do it. Keys to the House does not. Ooh, that was close, but fairly confident we lethal here. Does Manifest Dread when it attacks. There's no option. It has to do that. Super close. They almost milled us out with the Skull Crab. They had some really, really nice rares and stuff there, but we just got an absurd board state since they milled us. We got to keep reanimating all our big stuff. That Roaring Furnace thing seems awesome. I want to draft around that card. Seems like probably the biggest reason to go for a blue-red Rooms deck. Seems very good for that, but we've balanced it out. We are now 2-2 in game number 4, and we are heading into that final battle for these early access drafts, just playing 5 games apiece. Let's see if this deck is going to end with a positive or negative record as we head into the final battle, round number 5. All right, here we are for game number 5, final game of the draft. We've got multiple ways to fix our mana with Enduring Vitality and Moldering Gem here, and then the very powerful Unholy Annex and Ritual Chamber to try to win the game with. Boros deck from our opponent, one of our scariest matchups, is going to be good aggro decks like this. I can Moldering Gem into Ritual Chamber next turn for the 6/6. Removal spell test them here. Hope they don't have it. If they don't, we super win. If they do, we're sad. Top deck a land, and I can still play a 5/5 next turn, which will be a really good blocker against these smaller kind of decks. Leads me to believe Combat Trick kind of removal. I do not know the set well enough. It's probably like Scorching Dragonfire for 3 damage. I think I don't block. Take 7, go to 10. I mean, maybe they just have multiple combat tricks. They just throw on their double striker and go to town. And just carve us in half. Well, guess we're just dead. Combat trick would have been really bad for us if we blocked, but it almost feels worse that we didn't. Okay, get a 2/2 blocker here. It is so painful to activate this if they kill my demon. But I gain life this turn, and I kind of need life immediately. Such risk. Can't believe they hit me for 10 off of 1 3-drop creature. Oof. The Playmate to give the double striker unblockable each turn. Ooh! Well, can gain another 2. But now I can't do anything about the Playmate because it has hexproof. So by the time I can kill the Playmate, they can respond by giving the Plaything unblockable anyway. Man. There are some absurd rares in this format. I mean, we've got one of our own. Helping us a lot here, but I think we're still dead. Guess since I'm not going to be able to blow up the Playmate in time anyway, just block everybody else and take 4, go to 4. If they have a combat trick for the double striker, we're dead, period. I mean, I guess like I can torment the double striker itself, but then I don't have it for rescuer. And then Playmate still gets to send the hand that feeds in every turn. Maybe kill us with a combat trick there. Yeah, I feel like we really needed to be able to kill Playmate here, but maybe it was better to just hold up the Torment than it was to play Vitality. So that if they do try to just like kill us with a combat trick, we barely survive. Ooh, exile removal on our enduring card. That's depressing. Jam in for 4. 1 card left in their hand. Okay, no combat trick, we just take 4. Yeah, I guess I couldn't Withering Torment in response to a combat trick either. I would have had to do it pre-blocks or pre-attacks. So in response to them playmating the plaything. Okay, I could probably do that this turn, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. I can play the Shrieker and do that, yeah. Go to 6. Block, block, block. Blow that up in response to Playmate. I kind of feel like I need to attack. So I can try to go for a 2-turn kill here. So sketchy. But now if I get another attack with the demon, they're dead. I hit them for 6 and then drain them for 2. So if we survive through this turn, we win. Whenever this is dealt damage, it deals that much to any other target. That would make it lethal even through the Withering Torment, right? Chump. 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 1, 2, 3. I guess I barely survive? I go to literally 1 life. Right? And then I kill them? Ritual Chamber, the superior rare? Beats 2 mythics? Right? I guess I did play another rare, but I just played this as a 3 mana 3/3 that's about the chump block. Alright, I can't gain life anymore, but no matter how I play it, I have to just try to hit them for 8 next turn. So this just block like this and hit them for 8. Hit for 8. Please work. Oh my god. What a close ending. This format is wild. 3 and 2 by the skin of our teeth. We get a positive win rate on this draft. More wins than losses here. I'll take it. Played against a lot of pretty strong aggro decks, 2 of which just kind of demolished our souls. Yeah. Pretty slow, derpy deck here. I think if you do want to play this kind of deck, it does seem viable, but there's a lot of pretty good cheap removal spells, and you got to have a lot more of that than we did here. Obviously, I prioritized the Live or Dies really highly, and that left me with a lack of cheap removal. There are these like 1 in a black instants that deal 2 to a creature and you gain 2. If we had 2 or 3 copies of that, I think that would astronomically help us in the early game against these more aggressive decks and actually make this a very reasonable deck. So just some 2 and 3 mana removal spells were really necessary for bringing this up from a pretty average, pretty mediocre deck like it ended up being at 3 and 2. Average record there, like coin flip between more wins or losses. And like a really good deck. So just really need that cheap interaction, the cheap removal, or the really good early blockers. And we did not really have that going for this deck, but we really had the good late game with all the recursion and all the cyclers and stuff. So just needed the really efficient early removal against those quicker decks. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.